Right now, as you're watching this video, there's an invisible machine grinding away at the foundations of your future. It doesn't care about your dreams. It doesn't care about your retirement. It doesn't care if you ever achieve financial freedom. This machine operates 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and it's powered by a single document you probably signed while sipping complimentary coffee in a dealership lounge. That document represents the most normalized act of financial self-destruction in modern American history. We're not talking about credit card debt. We're not talking about student loans. We're talking about something far more insidious because it's dressed up as progress, as success, as the reward you deserve for showing up to your 9-to-5. I'm talking about your car payment. That $800 monthly obligation you convinced yourself was just transportation is not just transportation. It is a chainsaw. And right now, that chainsaw is cutting through the very future you're working so hard to build. My name is Godwin. Today, I'm going to show you the precise mathematical machinery behind how that shiny vehicle in your driveway is costing you not thousands, not tens of thousands, but potentially millions of dollars over your working lifetime. I'm pulling back the curtain on the auto debt trap that the American middle class has sleepwalked into, and I'm going to give you the exact framework for escaping it. If you value high-level financial clarity over the surface-level noise that dominates this space, you may want to join this network by subscribing. This channel is built for those who want to see the financial matrix for what it is. Let's begin. The average American car payment has now crossed $800 per month for new vehicles. Let that number settle into your consciousness for a moment. $800 every single month for an asset that loses approximately 20% of its value the moment you drive it off the lot. But here's where the situation becomes truly disturbing. That $800 payment isn't just an $800 payment. It's an $800 payment stretched across 84 months. 7 years. The 84-month auto loan has become the new normal in America, and nobody seems to be asking the obvious question. What kind of financial system normalizes 7 years of payments on something that will be worth a fraction of its purchase price before you even own it outright? The answer is simple. A system designed to extract maximum value from people who don't understand the true cost of their decisions. And that true cost is not the sticker price. It's not even the interest rate. It's something far more devastating. It's the opportunity cost. It's the asymmetric upside you're surrendering every single month you write that check. Let me introduce you to a concept that Wall Street understands intimately, but Main Street has never been taught. Every dollar you spend has two costs. The first cost is the obvious one, the nominal price, the $800 leaving your bank account. But the second cost is invisible. It's the phantom cost. It's what that $800 could have become if you had deployed it differently. This is not theoretical. This is a fundamental principle that separates those who build generational wealth from those who work their entire lives and retire with nothing but a paid-off house and Social Security checks. The Federal Reserve has spent the last several decades creating an environment where borrowing feels painless. Interest rates were held near zero for years. Easy credit became a birthright. And the auto industry responded by extending loan terms further and further, not to help you, but to keep your monthly payment digestically acceptable while the total cost of the vehicle ballooned to obscene levels. They don't want you doing the math. They want you focused on one number and one number only. Can I afford this monthly payment? That question is a trap, and you walked right into it. Here's the mathematics that no car salesman will ever show you. Let's take that $800 monthly payment and follow it across a 40-year working career. If you maintain that payment level from age 25 to age 65, always financing, always upgrading, always chasing the next model year, you'll spend $384,000 in car payments alone, nearly $400,000 just in payments. But wait, we haven't even touched the real damage yet. We haven't talked about what that money could have done in a standard index fund tracking the S&P 500. Historically, the stock market has returned approximately 10% annually over the long term. So let's run the actual numbers. If you took that same $800 per month and invested it into a Roth IRA and a taxable brokerage account consistently from age 25 to age 65 at a 10% average annual return, you would have approximately $5.1 million. $5 million. That is not a typo. That is not an exaggeration. That is compound interest doing exactly what Albert Einstein allegedly called the eighth wonder of the world. Your car payment isn't costing you $800 a month. Your car payment is costing you $5 million in lost future wealth. This is the opportunity cost nobody wants to talk about, because talking about it would expose the entire consumer economy as a wealth extraction machine designed to keep you running on what philosophers call the hedonic treadmill. Now, let me ask you an uncomfortable question, one that I want you to genuinely sit with. Why do you drive the car you drive? Is it because it's the optimal tool for transportation? Is it because it represents the most efficient allocation of your capital? Or is it because of something else entirely? Is it because you wanted to feel a certain way when you pulled into the office parking lot? Is it because you wanted your neighbors to perceive you as successful? Is it because Instagram and TikTok have convinced you that your vehicle is a public statement about your value as a human being? Be honest with yourself. Because if the answer to any of those questions is yes, then you have made a multi-million-dollar decision based on the fleeting opinions of people who will forget what you drive within 30 seconds of seeing it. The American obsession with automobiles is one of the most successful psychological operations ever conducted on a population. We have been programmed from birth to associate vehicles with identity, with masculinity, with femininity, with success, with freedom. But what kind of freedom requires 7 years of monthly payments? What kind of success leaves you asset poor and debt rich at the end of your prime earning years? The car companies know exactly what they're doing. The financing arms of these manufacturers, the captive finance companies, they make more money on the loans than they do on the vehicles themselves. You are not the customer. You are the product. Your future income stream has been securitized, packaged, and sold to institutional investors before you even sat down in that leather seat for the first time. Let me walk you through the anatomy of a modern auto loan, because understanding the structure is essential to escaping it. When you take out an 84-month loan, the lender front-loads the interest payments. This is called amortization, and it's specifically designed to maximize the interest collected early in the loan term. During the first 2 years of your 84-month loan, the majority of your payment is going to interest, not principal. This means you're building almost no equity in the vehicle while it's simultaneously depreciating at its fastest rate. By year 3, you are virtually guaranteed to be underwater. You owe more than the car is worth. And this is precisely when most Americans start feeling that familiar itch, that desire to upgrade, that sense that maybe it's time for something newer, something shinier, something that better reflects who you become. And so what do? They roll their negative equity into the next loan. They trade in a car. They owe $30,000 on for $22,000 in trade value, and that $8,000 deficit gets added to the next loan. Now, they're not just financing a new car. They're financing the ghost of the old car, too. This is how people end up owing $50,000 on vehicles worth $35,000. This is how the cycle perpetuates. This is how auto debt becomes a permanent feature of your financial life, rather than a temporary tool for mobility. The IRS and the U.S. tax code offer almost no relief for the situation. Unlike mortgage interest, auto loan interest is not deductible for personal vehicles. You get zero tax benefit for the privilege of being in debt on a depreciating asset. Compare this to the tax advantages available through proper capital allocation. Contributions to a traditional 401k reduce your taxable income dollar for dollar. A Roth IRA allows your investments to grow completely tax-free, and qualified withdrawals in retirement are tax-free as well. The American tax code, for all its complexity, essentially screams at you to prioritize investment over consumption. But nobody hears it because the noise of consumer marketing is too loud. The commercials tell you that you deserve a new truck. They show you families smiling on road trips. They show you individuals conquering mountains in their SUVs. What they don't show you is the long-term wealth destruction. They don't show you the 62-year-old still making car payments. They don't show you the couple who can't retire because they spent their investment capital on transportation. Now I want to address the most common objection I hear when I discuss this topic. People say, "Godwin, I need reliable transportation. I can't just drive a beater. My job requires me to be presentable. I have a family. I need safety features. I understand these concerns. And I'm not here to tell you to ride a bicycle to your corporate job or to put your children in a 20-year-old vehicle with no airbags. That would be irresponsible advice. What I am telling you is that there is a massive, gaping chasm between what you need and what you've been convinced you deserve. A reliable, safe, presentable vehicle can be purchased for $15,000 to $20,000 in the used market. Something 3 to 4 years old, certified pre-owned, with a clean history and modern safety features. If you finance that vehicle over 48 months instead of 84 months, your payment drops dramatically. If you pay cash, which should be your ultimate goal, your payment becomes zero. And that zero is worth $5 million over your career. Let me give you the framework. Let me give you the actual strategy for escaping the auto debt trap permanently. Step 1 is what I call the automotive audit. Pull up your loan documents right now. Look at the total interest you will pay over the life of the loan. Look at what you actually owe versus what the vehicle is currently worth. Check Kelley Blue Book. Check Edmunds. See the gap. Feel the gap. Let that gap create the emotional urgency necessary for change. Step 2 is a commitment to asymmetric capital allocation. This means redirecting resources from linear, depreciating expenditures toward exponential, appreciating assets. Every dollar that goes toward your car payment is a dollar that cannot work for you in the market. Make the decision today that you will never again finance a vehicle for more than 48 months, and that you will work toward paying cash for all future vehicles. Step 3 is a lifestyle audit. Examine why you felt you needed the vehicle you currently have. Trace that feeling back to its origin. Is it a genuine need or manufactured desire? Is it your voice or the voice of marketing that has colonized your subconscious? This introspection is uncomfortable but essential. You cannot change behavior you don't understand. Step 4 is a strategic exit. Depending on your current situation, this might mean selling the vehicle privately to maximize value and escape negative equity faster. It might mean making aggressive additional principal payments to pay off the loan early. It might mean simply waiting out the loan with the commitment that this is the last time you ever do this. There is no one-size-fits-all answer, but there is a universal principle. Awareness precedes transformation. I want to paint you a picture of 2 alternate futures. In the first future, you continue on the current path. You trade vehicles every 4 to 5 years. You maintain that $800 payment. Justify it each time with a slightly better interest rate or a slightly longer warranty. At 65, you look back at a career where you earned, let's say, $3 million gross, but your net worth is barely 6 figures. You have a paid-off house if you're lucky. You have Social Security, which is politically uncertain and economically modest. You have a small 401k because you could never afford to max it out. And you have an ever-present anxiety about whether you'll outlive your money. In the second future, you break the cycle today. You keep your current vehicle until it dies. You buy your next vehicle in cash, something modest, something functional. You invest the difference. That $800 per month goes into your Roth IRA until it's maxed at $7,000 per year. The remaining $3,600 per month goes into a taxable brokerage account invested in low-cost index funds. By 65, you have that $5 million. You retire not with anxiety, but with options. Your money works for you. Your children inherit not just assets, but the wisdom of financial discipline. Your grandchildren attend college without loans because grandfather understood compound interest. This is not about deprivation. This is about strategic clarity. This is about understanding that every financial decision has a long-term consequence that most people never calculate. The American financial system, from the Federal Reserve's monetary policy to the credit score infrastructure to the consumer financing industry, is designed to make spending feel easy and saving feel difficult. Your credit score goes up when you take on debt and make payments. Think about that. The system literally rewards you for being in debt. The entire architecture is built to keep capital flowing from your pocket to corporate balance sheets. And nowhere is this more visible than in the auto industry. The average American will own 12 vehicles in their lifetime. 12, each one financed, each one depreciating. each one representing a missed opportunity to build real, lasting, generational wealth. Here's what the elite understand that the masses do not. Wealth is not about income. Wealth is about the spread between what you earn and what you keep, and then what you do with what you keep. A surgeon earning $700,000 per year with an $800 car payment, a second car payment for the spouse, a boat payment, and a lake house mortgage is less wealthy in trajectory than a teacher earning $60,000 who drives a 10-year-old Honda and invests 30% of their income. The surgeon has income. The teacher has a system. And systems beat income every single time over a long enough time horizon. The car payment is the most visible symbol of a deeper problem, the American addiction to lifestyle inflation. As income rises, expenses rise to match. The raise becomes a new car. The bonus becomes a vacation. The promotion becomes the bigger house. And at the end of it all, there's nothing left. Just a lifetime of consumption with no capital to show for it. I want to leave you with this thought. The average 84-month auto loan represents 7 years of your finite life committed to a machine that will be worth pennies on the dollar by the time you own it. 7 years during which you could have been building an investment portfolio. 7 years during which compound interest could have been working in your favor instead of against you. 7 years that you will never get back. The car companies are betting that you won't do this math. The banks are betting that you'll stay focused on the monthly payment. The entire consumer economy is betting that you'll keep running on a hedonic treadmill, chasing status, chasing approval, chasing a feeling that can never be permanently purchased. But you've now seen the matrix. You've now seen the numbers. You've now seen the true cost of that $800 payment. The question is, what will you do with this information? Will you continue the cycle, or will you break it? Will you fund the retirement of auto executives, or will you fund your own? Will your grandchildren tell stories of the wisdom you passed down, or will they inherit your debts? That car in your driveway is not an asset. It is a liability dressed in leather seats and a navigation system. And every month you make that payment, you're not moving forward. You're standing still while inflation, depreciation, and opportunity costs silently erode the foundation you're trying to build. The chainsaw is still running. The only question is whether you have the courage to turn it off. My name is Godwin. You've just received a blueprint that most people will never encounter. If this resonated with you, if you felt something shift in your understanding of money and wealth, then you already know what to do. Subscribe to this channel. Not because I asked, but because you recognize the value of perspectives that challenge the mainstream financial narrative. We don't do surface level here. We go deep, and this is just the beginning. I'll see you in the next one.